Watch out, Artie pants. Andale, vámonos, Artie pants. Artie pants. Ma, you know what's funny? When we found out I was predominantly Scottish,
Yeah.
that's what it's funny that ever since I was a little girl I always liked plaid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Isn't that funny how our spirit, how our DNA wakes up and activates personality and traits and explains things that we can't explain for
For
ourselves?
ourselves, yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That is.
I thought that was really neat. I was like, I've always liked plaid. When I went out drinking after being sober for 14 years, I did it on scotch. It didn't really affect me. It didn't really bother me because I never said, oh no, I'm never going to drink again. I think if I would have said for 14 years, no, I'm never going to drink again, and then I did, absolutely, and I didn't do that because alcoholics, well, we're prone to drink. It's more amazing when we don't for any substantial amount. I get in certain placements and the certain planets line up in a certain kind of way in the sky, and I get awful thirsty. I get soup, so I got to do things to compensate, to distract myself, so I don't succumb to those thirsts, because that's when the demons come out. You know, all those demons that I fight in sobriety. It's just like open. It's like the genie in the bottle. You know, you never know what version of cocktail Marge you're gonna get.
Cocktail Marge?
Yeah, when I start drinking.
Oh.
You're gonna get happy Marge. Is Marge gonna get sad? You know, which frequency is she gonna tune into today? And it's just easier to keep my vibrational frequency at an even keel and just not even drink. Just don't even do it. Just don't even keep the plug in the jug. And everybody drinks. People all over the place, Ma. Yeah, it's social. It's fun to do. I see all these people. Their lives are so good. Their lives are so happy. You know, 6 out of 10 of their pictures, not of their kids, but it's their glass of wine in the picture. You know, it's like, look what I'm doing as I drink. Look what I'm doing as I drink. You know, all that stuff. You know, and I don't blame nobody. I don't fault nobody for doing it. I wish I could. So I get jealous of people that that do, you know, that don't care. Cause that was fun when I'm that person. When I don't care about anybody else and I don't have to worry about anybody else. I only got to worry about myself. When I'm completely living from ego. You know what ego stands for to me, Mom?
What does that stand for?
Ego, easing God out. And you know what God stands for to me? Good, orderly direction. And that to me, synonymously, in layman's term, mean don't be a dick. Hello, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Conversations with Ma.
You just have this clarity about you.
Thanks.
That you're always surprised.
You don't get word salad much with me unless I had too many cookies. Yeah, I got to get out and have some fellowship today. I got to get out. We were supposed to get 6 to 10 inches here on the floor right below Wheeler Peak. And we didn't get more than a dusting. So I went into the coffee shop and saw a couple homies, the couple that I married. I got to see them. And that they're doing good. And hang out. And it's just, see, I do better with other people. That's why I want to have like a community type place where people can come visit. Where there's a turnover, you know. Where they can come land, like have trailers and stuff around, or camp or whatever they want. A place for RV, whatever they whatever fits their needs.
That will fit into.
Well, right, wherever, like the girl that I ran into yesterday at the post office. I'd love to have like a little one-person trailer I run into people like that. Hey, come stay with me. And then we see what she wants to do with her life.
Oh.
And help people regroup.
It's easy to regroup together.
Yes. Because I know a lot, maybe she doesn't want to live here. Well, where do you want to live? Maybe I know someone that can help, We gotta, us regular people, not the rich people. I'm talking about all of us that make like freaking $50,000 a year and less. Those regular people. Not all these people that believe that the majority of the nation makes over $400,000 because their mommy and daddies do. You know what I mean? See, people don't. They can't live past their own conception of things. These kids, the people these days. Not to say that it's not going to change. It could change in an instant. Depending on the circumstances that they come across. People have their come to step 2 moments. They do. A lot of times people have to wait till they have a near-death experience to have their come to. It just so happened when I was young, I had too many come to experiences. And I don't need to have near-death ones now. Because I had what? How many? 4 or 5 NDEs before I was 12 years old. 4, more than average, more than above average. Yeah, Anyway, so what was I gonna talk about? As simple as people are making such a big deal about it because there's so many people choosing the easier, softer way in life. I don't know why so many people are surprised. It's just easier to sell out. And when I think about selling out and selling your soul, yeah, it actually has things to do with, giving your soul up to evil, and doing evil things, Evil could and that could just be hindering. That could just be somebody that's in the system that just dedicates themselves to not really help anybody. Not help anybody at all. Stop. Get out of his ear. It's alright, Tango. Tango's like, oh, Tango just woke up and realized that Stanley was eating food. The good stuff. So, as simple as selling yourself out, just doing things that go against good orderly direction, like the workaholic that spends all their time with their family. They say that they do everything they're doing, they do for their family. Like I used to see it, like people that lived and would commute 2.5 hours one way, 5 hours, a week to live in the, big houses on the hill between Tahoe and Sacramento, right? And they drive 2 hours each way, sometimes daily, it depends. Sometimes maybe they get a hotel room, 5 hours a day, you're spending after working 10 hours, just the things that people do that they say they're doing it for their families, and how many of them in real life are doing it to get away from their families. That happens so much. People got to start being truthful about the situations in their life, whatever situation it is, And people are living out loud more than they have ever. I don't like how this narrative that people are encouraging folks to change who they are, not just, they're doing it surgically too. They're trying to change and direct the course of how they think the future should look, and that ain't no organic. Yeah, you got all these weird. It's so weird what the world turned into. I think at some point the spirit of the heart of this nation You know? Like, there were people that really wanted maybe to come to realize and live the idea, and make the idea of freedom become reality, but ultimately they all sold out. Because if anybody in history along the way was so adamant about it, you know, as soon as they got in office, they would have changed things. But since it's a circle of greed, and that's what people are figuring out, there's no red, blue, there's no left, right, there's no Democrats, Republican, GOP, whatever they call themselves. This turn of the sun, it's just a big group of really freaking greedy people that have a mentality and a mindset that there are citizens of their own nations that are subservient and not worthy of basic needs. And that they can justify paying themselves 6 figures, and giving themselves benefits, you know, up the wazoo. That these lawyers, they're not even politicians. I don't even call them politicians. They're just all a bunch of dirty lawyers. They're just they're just, look at all their education. They're all lawyers. That's all our country. And they worked in like these corporations. If you look at their history, they worked in all these corporations in these big cities all across the land. I worked in Omaha in big corporations. So then they're like, we've saturated the market here. We've gone to this company and this company and you know. So now then they interjected themselves into the political field, and then we have the evolution of Corp USA. This country is a corporation, and it's all about money, and it sold its soul. It killed Turtle Island. You know, you got this white colonists that come over and freaking killed Turtle Island, just stuck a freaking, what are those long, musket in Turtle Island and killed Turtle Island, and then made it this really seedy, gross, weird thing. And then now what's going to happen? Are people going to stand up? Because you know fall they're going to fucking try and lock everything down again, maybe. That potential highly exists. Because how many people think that could happen? So it's like the more people that have that perception, the more that's likely to be our next reality. So I'm trying to freaking picture the reality, you know, spring coming, cleaning up the yard, you know, the flowers coming in, people being in a good mood, yeah, stuff like that. But where I live, anyway, I just saw an ad on Facebook. It's not a housing crisis, it's a greedy crisis. You got too many of these people that it's monopoly, and you got these big fat cats that bought all the good stuff, and then they're the ones that think that there's this percentage of the population that is beneath them. And there's this group that I'm a part of, affordable housing here in Taos, because there's not much. It's like like where I live, it's pretty, I don't know, I'm cool with what I pay here, right? But I live in the outskirts where there's coyotes and things that eat critters in the night. And weird freaking, druggy people that walk through randomly and stuff like that. It's really quite interesting. So I found out this little tidbit. This woman, Genevieve, I guess she just ran for mayor. I don't know who won the election or anything. Oswald. She really she talked about caring about affordable housing here, right? That was part of her platform, right? And somebody busted her out. If Genevieve Oswald really cares about affordable housing in Taos, she will ask her largest donor to sell his home to the town for the same price that he paid for it 2 years ago. And evidently because I look at Zillow every day. I look at all kinds of different real estate stuff. And so I recently saw this property because it's amazing the amount of money that people think that someone's going to pay to live in these. It's a freaking amazing. And so 2 years ago, this man paid $750,000 for this property, okay? 119 Brooks Street, Taos, New Mexico, 87571. It's 5 bathroom, 3 bedroom. All right? Instead, he listed it for $1.7 million. Almost $1 million over what he paid for it just 2 years ago, Ma. Nice way to profiteer off the Dominican nuns. That's what they do. I went when I was in economics class in high school. Worst freaking teacher I ever had, Mr. Dunlap. Oh my God, bored me to tears. I barely graduated because I'd skipped school at lunch. Because I had freaking English with Mrs. Chase and then fucking Mr. Dunlap, and they both sucked. So boring, and it's like everything they said, that doesn't happen. It turns out that that's the reality of the world. They don't price gouge. Yeah, inflation, all that stuff. It's the narrative, and they do it in alignment. See, people have free will. And so they got all these astrologers to work for their freaking, and to write their rituals and stuff like that. They got all these astrologers to say, okay, the planets are going to line up. And so people have the potential to be really fearful during this time, right? And so what do? Okay, create an event that will perpetuate that fear in the collective conscious. And then they use that energy to harvest, to with the crystals and the whatnot, and people are just like, go team, go team. I had an interesting thing happen. I've been wanting to just cut my hair off lately. I just want to be done with it. I'm back there again, and I want to cut all this off. Be a short hair again. I feel better about stuff when I do it. It's like I've done it, but I just haven't done it yet. Right? And so like the other night, I just was like, I was very close to making a very bad decision. And there's certain planetary alignments that line up that say, hey, don't get a haircut, don't get a tattoo, don't get involved with somebody during these windows of, these potentials exist because you're not going to be satisfied with the outcome. Okay? So I pay attention to that stuff. All right? So I didn't whack my hair off, and I'm not even kidding. Like, within a 2-day window, a gal I used to know from Omaha on my Facebook feed, she's an Aries too. And she has a lot of hair. So much hair. She has a lot of hair. Thick, red, curly hair. Like the kind that takes hours to straighten when she decides to straighten it. And a lot of it. She got out of the shower, got mad, freaking whacked a bunch of it off. So now she has like shorter hair than she's ever had. I probably since she was a little girl, since she grew it out, I'm guessing. I don't think she's ever had short hair like that. It's only like this. It's like a little bob cut. I think it looks nice. But I was just like, I was letting her know, I was like, meditation helps with these fits of rage. She called it like a hormonal. Dude, it ain't gender specific. Yeah, it might be hormones, but these are hormones that guys have too. And plus, everybody's getting so sensitive. That is a perfect example of how people that are getting these shots, they're starting, Mom, it's so weird that people are going to start feeling more like I felt the last 15 years with these bullshit 8 anthrax vaccines I've gotten. Because that's the thing is people are losing their ability to freaking that emotional control. They're not able, like, how I bet she hurt herself saying, don't do this. You know what I mean? I had that experience last night when I was not very nice to Benny. I yelled at Benny last night. Benny got yelled at, and he had an upset stomach, and because I did not sleep at all, and I did not handle myself very well. So, but that whole time I'm saying, don't yell at Benny, and as I'm yelling at Benny. And more people are going to see examples of how other people aren't whole. I see it every day. I see it when people drive and they freaking totally don't have any respect for life and they just go so fast. up and down the roads. You know, people drive like they don't use their, you know, just like basic common courtesies are just not common. They're uncommonly discourteous. They're commonly discourteous now. And what else is going on? Hi, Stanley. Didn't I just feed you? But yeah, the real estate is just, I mean, people are getting so greedy. They're just getting so... Oh my God. It's just, it's bizarre. And here where I live, the governor is signing all this stuff. You know, this free money for money for these people, free education, free go to college for free, all these initiatives and things like that, you know. But it's like, if you go to use their actual systems to sign up, you don't get through. Unless you know somebody that works in an office that you have their direct line. Because the state's so small that there are those people. But you can't get through on any kind of their automated system. Their computers, their human computer interface on their websites are terrible. You can't do jack shit, you know. People need to modify. The world is not the world is different. And the world is going to keep changing because, see, it's secular. And we just happen. Everybody keeps talking about how this is the most amazing time to be alive. And I'm like, there are timelines that more and more people are starting to see to be the reality of. So it's going to thus create that reality. Because more and more people are going to see that in the room of this timeline. And that is where a great number of people are going to die. Because we are in the end of so many cycles right now. So many. Like, what, the 27, there's a 27, there's a 13, there's just all these cycles are coming to a collective head now. And the more people, like, you know, if frickin' more than 50.1% of the population of the planet think that frickin' UFOs are gonna land, so be it. That we create reality. And that's why Hollywood and all these, you know, they make movies and TV shows to create how they want the future to go. Like Roseanne the Connors and stuff. They people, like, so many people at different levels, economic levels, different backgrounds, like that show because it was so relatable. So they wanted to make, you know, the nation of people just like that, you know, and that's how they gauge and measure. They've been taking stats and consensuses and collecting data points as long as we've been upright. And it's coming out that people have been disingenuous. People have been very, very, very manipulative. God has not been winning. And Lucifer has been running rampant on this planet. And people don't seem to mind. Because everyone that is all about the expensive cars. You know, there's too many people that need basic stuff. Too many people. Too many. It's not that worse. For so many people to be pissing away freaking so much on nonsense, it's just a distraction. We're supposed to be the custodians of this planet and just take care of people. Just help them. Help the people that can't help themselves. You know? And that doesn't mean to tell people that don't know about things to just get online and do it online. Because your online is broke. Your online don't work. People want to go more towards being technologically reliant, What are you gonna do? You know, like they do in China. You know, you had a bad day, you freaking rant on Facebook or something, and they freaking, oh, you were a jerk. You just lost access to your freaking bank account for a month. You know, it's like the Fifth Element stuff. You know, too many demerits. You lose your, you know, you don't get to pay rent. You know, all that kind of stuff. Or people that are just going to take the chip, because so many people are just going to take the, you know, would that be really cool if I could just listen to music and just have a chip in my ear and just listen to music, you know? But I don't have any faith in these people that they're lazy, man. These programmers and stuff like that. Most of them are really lazy and stuff. So it's like, you know, if they don't do an update, and, you know, your stuff doesn't work, your green pass or whatever don't work, you know, there goes your power. You know, here comes the consequence. That's how it is. It's you act this way or the hammer comes down, and you got all these freaking spun out nut job freaking old freaking boomer freaking inept, unimaginative, selfish, greedy, gluttonous, piganous scumbags that are just like, I don't know, they're all in this like God complex. Like, I know that the governor of New Mexico, she's just like, free money for this and free money for that, and you know, all New Mexico, we just reduced freaking taxes for Social Security for the first time in 40 years. I'm like, dude, shut up. You don't get to freaking pat yourselves on the back for rolling back shit that never should have existed to begin with. So, and it took that long for you to figure that out? No, see, these people could do this stuff instantaneously and everything's drug out and it's all a process. All the while, more and more people are freaking falling through the cracks of society. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how things are gonna go. Man, the freaking astrology between my birthday's April 9th, and evidently the astrology for April 12th is pretty freaking gnarly. It's pretty freaking gnarly. It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. But what's going on in the world? I didn't even know. I had such a bad night last night. I did dream, though. I got to go into my dream space. See, I don't... That's the thing. It's like, I could do without sleep. It's the connection with my higher self. Traveling through different dimensions through the night. Spending time with my soul family, who I can't seem to fucking find in real life anywhere. You know. Soul companions. Those really deep-rooted ones, the ones that, you know, you see and you know that you know them your whole life. Or you've been waiting to see them their whole life. All that stuff. So, I don't know, I think about my electronic stamp. I got a big digital print in my life. My digital print. Like, if I think about just like my security clearances and... not just in the military, but working at West Corp and Secured Solutions, a security company. They hired people to come in, and there's all these people. See, I'm not a hacker. I don't want to get into other people's crap. I don't want to know. I know who people are by feeling them. I don't need to be verified. I don't need to see what they are to verify what I already believe to be true. And these companies are just, they were so big, and so the people in them were so corrupt. I was talking about that today, how big and corrupt they were, and how much, you know, and how perverted these people were that worked in these companies, and how people have always gotten away with stuff, and now it's so big and so out of hand. It's so big. That sounds like... I think one of these blankets has a zipper on it, and I thought maybe there was a lighter. that made it in the look at Benny, how cute he is. I was so mad at him. I kicked him out and made him sleep with you, Mom, last night. I'm like, you need to just stay away from me. And something that I felt is, because I was like, I got really, because they kept waking me up. Like it took me like an hour and a half to fall asleep, and then one of the dogs would like get up and freaking walk, and I'd wake up or something. So I woke up, and then Benny freaking got sick everywhere, and I'm like, I'm not even dealing with it. So I'm like, Marge is. So I was crabby, but I was like trying to look from outside of myself to be like, okay, why are you so mad? And I was like, I'm mad because this is the second night I haven't gotten this, I'm not getting sleep again. And I have to be on top of things during the day. And so then that turned into I'm getting frustrated because I'm by myself doing a lot of stuff. And people aren't getting it yet. They're not getting it yet. And I'm tired of talking and hearing about how all these people are fucking waking up and on Twitter and stuff like that. And all these people have all this money in the bank. And they can't even buy socks for people on the street. You know what I mean? Because in their mind, that they donate money for non-for-profits. And then the non-profits are supposed to do that stuff. But how are they going to hand out socks to people on the street if they're too busy having conferences all over the world to promote money to buy socks to hand out on the street, but they're never actually doing it? You know what I mean? And that's what this world has become. And it's hard to watch. I wonder, because I was like, I wonder when this country really broke. Like, the integrity of this nation really broke. Yeah. When people started taking more for themselves than they started giving out to help. It's supposed to be our currency, our circuitry, our thoughts, ideas. We're supposed to use that to generate heaven on earth, to help people that can't help themselves. And that turned into a system of my stuff is my stuff and your shit's my stuff. And these egos have grown to this, they equate their, what the stuff that they have to the power of who they are. And people like me, I don't recognize any kind of power in people like that. Because every person that freaking, thinks that they're better than other people and all this stuff, I just picture them out in the fucking desert, and their Tesla gets a flat tire or so, something like that. And it's just like they're ill-equipped. They don't have phone service. It's hot. They didn't bring water, stuff like that. People are ill-equipped. They don't plan. They don't think. And think that, okay, we got a life on this planet, and we're just given opportunity after opportunity because they were freaking sheltered or whatever. But most of us are not having that kind of freaking experience. Definitely not. Definitely not. So us people down here on the bottom, this was kind of cool. I was talking to my homies at the coffee shop today because I want to have a place for travelers to come and stuff like that, and regroup, just because how wonderful it is to be freaking so worn out and to just get that one good night's sleep after just being so distraught. Get your belly full, eat a good meal, eat a cookie, bliss out, hang out with the dogs, love on them, hang out with mom, watch TV or whatever, and just help people regroup, and then decide where they want to be. And then I also want to have a place on site, a big old garage where people can come in out of the cold and work on their vehicles, because it gets cold here in the winter months here, and work on their vehicles and have, and like a car library, like a maintenance library. Instead of you go in and check out books, you go in and you can work on your vehicle, have a mechanic on site to help out. Right? So I go to the coffee shop today, and the guys, my homie Reg was talking about how he and another buddy of mine, Brent, are trying to make that happen. They're trying to do my garage idea. Isn't that cool, Ma?
Yeah,
That they thought it was such a good idea
yeah.
that they're gonna go ahead and try and make that a reality.
That's nice.
Isn't that neat?
That really is. There's some good people out there.
And so they want to make a place where people can come and work on their cars and have mechanics on hand, to use for reference, because I know Brett knows his stuff. I know a lot about mechanics. I don't know, I think Brett's one of those guys that knows, like I don't know. I don't know how to articulate what I'm saying, and there's a lot of people that know, I don't know, more about the numbers. But I know more than fucking people just don't know about stuff anymore. Oh, and I would also like to have a place on site in addition to the garage where you could fabricate you just machine and fabricate your own parts. Because on these old vehicles now, you can't find parts for the older the cars are now. You can't find them, and the frickin', as far as I'm concerned, anything made in the last 15 years is just junk. It's just crap. It's just ever since they replaced the carburetor with the computer, it's just complete junk. And it's just, yeah. I think it's kind of interesting is I've always seen the world kind of a certain kind of way, and a lot of other people right now are starting to open up, and they're starting to see the world like I am. Stan Lee? What are you talking about, handsome? Kitty. So I don't think the world is going to change much. I don't think the world's going to change much for me, Mom. Maybe it'll get more comfortable for us. Maybe we'll get our forever home and then just go on from there and start having people come visit and stuff like that. But for other people, the world's going to change in a big way. A lot of people they're going to lose their heroes. People who they thought that they were are going to be somebody entirely different. It's so it has to happen, The cleansing has to begin, and the people, in this last freaking civilization, last 248 years or whatever it's been, have done a lot of dirty stuff that needs to be answered for, and people keep doing that dirty stuff. They keep making a lot of money and benefiting and profiting from causing harm and hurting and hindering and not helping, and now there's gonna be hell to pay. Godspeed, but I got